Okay. Only saying hi to me in the window. Hold on. What are you doing? What are you doing over there, little man? Okay, bye-bye. Got like 2 seconds of dog visitation, then he left me. Oh, were you jealous? Did you hear me talking to both the boys? And not you? Everything's needy today. You hear crimes happening off camera. The Oni came up to, because my office window is like a foot off the ground, so he likes to occasionally come up to my window and ask for attention, and this time he did it for like all of 2 seconds. And then Raya was jelly. And now she's abandoning me too. Anyways, how goes it, nerds? Oh, I know it's kind of a shitty week, but... Oh, hi, sweetie. Oh, damn. Now she's laying down, so now I'm like, oh shit, should I set up the other camera? Are you actually gonna stay here? Huh? Hold on. It still ain't cool. I'm waiting. I want my fall. We're getting the trees down. Now give me the rest of it. Alright, I have to use my, I have a cord extender that I usually use for controllers. I will use it for doggo cam. And then Miss. Very cute. Yes, you are. You'll take 72 over 88. Yeah. I know, a lot of my friends are currently in, like 100+ heat waves, and I am very grateful to not have that. Alright, I may have to do some finagling. HPC, look, I'm dual wielding. It is true. It may or may not have been a mistake. Hold on. I'm giving, oh, I can only do exposure on this camera. This is my old webcam that I'm using on her, so I guess I can't adjust the lens at all. There you go. What are you doing? Eating your foot. Is it a tasty foot? Is it a tasty, tasty foot? No. You have abused new powers. Oh, I guess you left Raylan right before I got raided. So you missed that. I let the raiders write in what they wanted because we had tied between Resident Evil Fuerte or Ori and the Blind Forest, and I believe it got overwhelmingly pushed to Ori and the Blind Forest. So that's Friday now. Is Ori and the Blind Forest. Alright, I have a bunch of like half-done things in the sketchbook, but I'm going to, I had an idea the other night that I didn't get to start sketching, and I'm going to see if I can remember what the frick I was thinking of. Yeah, I know Ori is a very, very pretty game. So I'm still happy about it. I was just like, I think it chose Sons of the Forest again. I'm like, Sons of the Forest isn't going to get it. But as soon as it went with Ori, I was like, oh, that one's going to get it. But then it said Resident Evil, and I was like, oh. Yeah, I know. I stopped watching playthroughs of Silent Hill F because I was like, I'm going to want to play this. So, it was a little funny that it gave me both. But Silent Hill still gets to be on the list, so it's not like it won't ever happen. This camera, what is it? It's only letting me go one direction right now. There we go. Anyways, how goes today with everybody and our horrible news? Comments are live on my clips. What? I don't know what that means. I think Ori better for now because we just did routine. Gotta keep the genres changing. We just did ooblets. Routine was 2 games ago. We just did ooblets, which reminds me. I did, I have not put the... I still need to export the file, but I did finish that one up. It's a little stylized just because I had decided that I didn't want to... We can't go right back to survival horror. A lot of the games on the list are survival horror. Just Just gonna tell you that right now, just because when it comes to games with creatures and monsters, guess what most of them are? Oh, jeez. Hi, Carson, thank you for the raid. I was lurking on you earlier. Your pomegranate eyeball was very creepy and cool. And now if I go over to the tab where I have you open, it's me. Okay. Hi, Carson Raiders. How y'all doing? Oh, and thank you for the follow, Boring Hater. That's a fun username. Chat was just giving me a regular ribbing as they usually do. Yes, that is Raya. She is one of my dogs. She usually doesn't stick around for long because she hates it when I talk to myself. But she's in here right now, so I have the camera on. The glove? Oh, yeah, I tried, so funny story. Did I hit a follower goal? Oh my goodness. Thank you all so much. Okay, Catastrophe, thank you for the follow. You wanted to bring friends? Oh, thank you. Thank you for talking to myself. Ribbing is like vitamin deficit. Okay. Sorry. I'm like losing my train of thought. Anyways, yes, we'll see how long Raya goes before she abandons me. But I was showing chat the ooblets that we designed, or that I designed. Chat kind of voted on, but this was the ooblets fan art creature design that I did the other day. Yes, thank you. Oh, sorry if there's a delay, but yes, I am doing traditional drawing today though, because Monday was digital. Sorry, I made a loud noise and spooked the dog. You never finished ooblets? It's honestly because so much of the world has been on fire, just like both, you know, literally the world on fire, and personally, I've been playing a lot of it in my free time because it's a nice, pleasant game. It's a very chill little farming sim, collect all the shinies. I don't know how much I got, but oh yeah, the gloves. So I just got these because the other night I was sitting there having some kind of weird epiphany that I needed to design a little slide that would like clip onto your wrist and your pinky so that you wouldn't smudge your paper, because I work with a lot of like very smudgeable stuff. And then I was like, they just make these, they're called these finger gloves. I had a moment. And yes, then I went out and bought these once to test them out. But anyways, I'm gonna start trying to draw something before I lose my mind. I did see, Carson, you were starting to play, was it Blasphemous? Did I possibly... You have never owned these gloves? Not even for, because you work digitally usually, you never have a problem with like sweaty fingers on your gloves? Or like making you smudge? How did you like, I think you were playing Blasphemous 1. I actually haven't played the first one. I started playing right into the second one because that's the one I have. So it was, you gotta finish it. I do love that game. I'm bad at that style of game. So I'm working myself towards the how do I want to say it, the racing heart and frustration that it will inevitably cause me. Not even traditionally. I mean, I didn't for a long time, but then I started drawing on the Yupo paper, and this stuff is not really meant for drawing. I know I've brought this up before, most of you know, but it's meant for acrylic resin pouring. And but I draw with it, and it only takes it's very particular about what kind of medium it takes. Like even the pencil lead color matters. So like this is old ass Pinocchio fan art that I found. But so this is black animator pencil, which is one of only 3 colors that really work with that. But it smudges like nobody's business. So this is just a Q-tip that I use for like blasting it out. But yeah, this is why I have to have gloves, because it just obliterates anything. Yeah. Del Toro's Pinocchio. I also have one, well, now that she's gone. It's like I have one on my lights. I have a little puppet. But and somewhere I have a signed poster, movie poster for it that Del Toro was saving for me, but I have yet to get it. Oh, she's back. It's not a cow skull. It is a muskox. And then over, oh, you can't see it behind the fish tank and the pile of books. There's a bison back there. I actually don't have a cow skull, surprisingly. I've got a horse. I even have a giraffe. I'm not pals with Del Toro. He just was my boss for almost 2 years. You only have a raccoon skull. Yeah, those ones are, I would consider them like the gateway skull. If you end up being a vulture like me, which is like the friendly term people have for people who collect bones and stuff. I did. Hylian, stop it. Stop it. I know I'm not besties with Del Toro because I asked him once if he had suggestions on where I should go to eat in Guadalajara, and he totally ignored me. And I was like, alright, having his personal information is not to be used for asking for Guadalajara food. I did not say okay catastrophe. Your name is a tongue twister, but I love it. She's, well, we don't know entirely. She's a rescue. I got her, I think she's just had her 2-year gotcha anniversary, or it's coming up at like the very end of this month, actually. But she's, originally from Southern California, and her story is a little weird in that the rescue I got her from kind of lied through their teeth about a whole lot of stuff, including where she was coming from. I thought she was like 40 minutes north of me. I do have a raccoon skull as well. I also have a raccoon dog, a tanuki. I do not kill any of the animals I have. There's bone clones or byproducts or antiques. Okay, just head that off there. But she's more than likely an Akita Husky mix. She's definitely Akita something. But I literally called the rescue just to ask a few more questions about her. And as soon as I mentioned that I had had an Akita that I had had for 14 years, they just sent her in the morning without me even like filling out paperwork. They just literally shipped her to me. And I got a very scrawny, underweight, covered in scars and wounds and terrified, untrained dog. And she's come a long way. She's still a little bit of an asshole to strangers and strange dogs, though. 1% Akita and 99% cute. Yees. She is a pirate. She's got one eye because her original story, because the rescue was one part of it, somehow the least sad part. She was originally dumped outside of a shelter south of LA, and at a kill shelter, just completely mangled by another dog. more than likely. And so she lost an eye, had a bunch of wounds that they had to stitch up, but they were going to put her down, that kill shelter. They, like, immediately were going to put her down. And the rescue did save her, so I will give them all the credit in the world for that. But, after that, after they, like, got her fixed, got her eye taken out, got her stitched up, they just kind of, like, tossed her in a random fenced-in, like, 5x6 dog run with 2 other dogs on a ranch out in the country. So, and then they kind of, you know, she barely was getting fed, obviously, and was getting mangled by other dogs. So yeah, she's got some apprehension, obviously, towards stuff, but she's getting a lot better. Aren't you, sweetie? She's like, she's mad at me, or she was really mad at me yesterday because I wouldn't let her fight 5 raccoons when we went for our walk at night. You always wanted a one-eyed pet, I don't know why. It is, it's a little interesting. My vet has a one-eyed dog as well, a rescue, and she's like, does she always walk with her blind side towards you? And she actually doesn't do that. Or no, she does. My vet's dog always walks with the seeing eye towards her. My Raya does the opposite. But you have to be like a little bit more flexible with walking them, because like usually you have a dog trained to go on one side of you, but with a blind dog you kind of can't do that, because it's like, I mean, you could and just have them 100%, you know, believe that you're not hiding something from them, but if she wants to see something, you know, I have to be willing to switch sides. She could fight 4 though, probably. What do you mean you don't let her free, Skulls? Oh no, the raccoons, okay. So she is, like, very much, Akitas are hunting dogs. For those that don't know, they weren't even trained, like, traditionally. They're originally from Japan. Which, by the way, this is what you get on my stream, is I will nerd out about animals, not just dogs, but I definitely know about dogs. So Akitas originally originate from Japan, and they were meant to hunt bears, but not in the sense that you're thinking like foxhounds all get together and a hunter chases them and then they put things up a tree. Akitas are meant to hunt bears by themselves. You will learn so many fun facts here. Good. I am happy to oblige on the... Oh my god. Chad, I'm sorry. I did not realize that the camera has been off screen. It's like what I've been drawing has been way over there this whole time. I'm so sorry. This is what happens. You got me stuck on a nerd thing and then I segued. Anyways, so they were meant to just be released and go hunt bears on their own without any help from people, and then like go back to their owners. So they're very faithful to one person. They all fight like this? No. Japanese Akitas aren't terribly big. I think for some reason it applied the settings from the other camera to this, and when did it switch? At some point it reset. Apologies. 1v1. Yeah, pretty much. Cause maybe 2v1. Well, you have to know, like, if you're in the US, when you think bear, you're thinking, you know, at least 100-pound black bear. Black bears can be about the size of a large dog. Or a grizzly, which is the size of a small horse. But in Japan, the bears are not very big. They're like the size of a medium-sized dog, maybe a large dog. So it wasn't like as insane of an idea. But yeah, Akitas are they're not really pack dogs. They usually just pair up with, you know, a male-female pair, and that's about it. And then they don't really tolerate other, especially not of their own gender, they don't really tolerate many more dogs. The males could get used to it, but females, especially, like my old Akita that I had for 14 years, absolute sweetheart, hated other female dogs. I just had to not let her do it. It has to be 1v1. Their Japanese dog, where's their raider? Yeah, their honor. Sorry. My ADHD brain loves to swap words when I'm reading. Okay, I was trying to think of a creature that what I'm drawing, by the way, is some kind of like, I was inspired by when you see well, this is gonna be sad to say, but like older Tibetan women, considering the news in Tibet today, which holy cow, I hope somehow it's not as bad as it looks. But anyways, there's like, these older women will have gigantic baskets on their backs, and they're just down here, and they're all like, yeah, carrying my stuff, and they're carrying it all with a band that goes around their heads. I mean, you see it with younger guys too. The older women usually are like doing it with lighter, like fabric, or not fabric, reeds kind of thing. But then you'll see a lot of younger, you know, sturdier people doing it with much heavier loads. But that's what this creature was design is based off of. But anyways, I think I segued thoroughly into Akitas, or not entirely. You love animal nerds, you need more around. I will definitely fit that role for you. I am bona fide animal nerd. But yes, if anybody wants to chat or ask about weird animals, there's a good chance I might know something. But yeah, all the skulls in my office are because I study biology as like a hobby. If I could afford to go to college to get a degree in biomechanics, and I guess honestly, I'm not sure the correct term for it, but it's like a genealogical biologist kind of thing. Studying bloodlines, tracing back evolution would be kind of what I would try to specialize in. But yes. Anyways, Akitas. So yes, small dogs only really come in pairs. Hunt, or not small dogs, large dogs for Japan, small bears. The Japanese ones get to be kind of max about like 80 pounds, not very big, but then they got, during World War II, there was like the American soldiers were, you know, ended up being, or was it World War One? I think it was World War One, actually. There was essentially U.S. soldiers stationed in Japan. When was Helen Keller alive? She was actually the first person to import an Akita, or she got some as a pet, or someone gave her one as a gift. But she was the first to import an Akita, and then a bunch of soldiers came back with them because they love the dogs, and of course they bred them to be bigger because that's what Americans do. Am I very chaotic? I apologize if I am. Helen Keller will be World War II? Okay, I wasn't totally sure because it makes me like, because I'm like, American soldiers stationed in Japan, that doesn't make sense. Because Japan was a Axis power. Which, holy cow, if you ever want to lose some faith in humanity, look up the war crimes of Japan in World War II, because it is kind of their best kept secret, and they all got away with it. And it is atrocious, but it is something that, like, they still do not acknowledge as a country that happened. Anyways, back to dogs, because that's a depressing topic. So the Akitas came here, got bigger. They can be up to about 150 pounds. I think some can get, they can get to be almost the size of those like Tibetan bear dogs. Like they can get big. But they're usually like, I think max out at like 130, 120 pounds. I think the biggest I met was 140. And they're significantly bigger, and they still have the hunting instinct. So Raya does definitely love to try and hunt at least. I've kind of used that instinct to train her a bit, because it worked really well with teaching her, like, recall commands and everything. To let her stalk bunnies a little bit but never get them. But I don't let her actually hunt the bunnies. Like, I'll let her stalk them, maybe give them a little chase if they're a particularly stupid one and they need to kind of learn to survive. Because there's some really... People keep, like, feeding the bunnies and then they get too acclimatized and then, like, they just get wrecked by a coyote or a cat. But I do let her... So that's why I'm like, I don't let her hunt raccoons. My old Akita did get into a fight with 3 raccoons, which is... So it was kind of funny you brought that up. They tried to break into our house on Thanksgiving night when we first moved here. And she chased them off, and luckily she had her rabies shots because she definitely got bit. But Raya, I don't let her fight the raccoons. So they're in a weird stalemate. But I do let her go for... Also, the raccoons are native, so I don't want to harass native wildlife. But I do let her go for rats, because they're not native, and they're crazy invasive here. But did she do 4? No, there was only 3 that night. My old dog was even more of a hunting instinct, like, than Raya here, which is saying something, because Raya's crazy. It's a little funny to stalk a bunny with her, because she stalks them slow motion, but she has very good restraint, so I kind of, as long as she's restrained and listens to me, it's something I'll do. But my old dog, she got squirrels, she got chickens that got loose in our yard. She did not, like, break out and go attack chickens. Somebody's chickens got loose and got into our yard. Moles. I got her to let go of a possum once before she did anything to it. Well, yeah, that was because when our, oh my god, Silas raid. Silas, thank you so much for the raid. How did it go? What were you drawing / playing? There's a cooked bird in there. Yeah, no, it was definitely, like, I think you were actually here that night, but I think you had left by then. Because it was when we first moved here. And we were still, like, this house had been empty for a bit, so there's like cherry trees in the yard, or there was. We had to chop that one down, and there's like a plum tree. So I think the raccoons were used to coming in here and eating from those trees, and then they just smelled like an entire turkey dinner, and we're like, what's up there? You were drawing a bug-looking dude with a beam cannon, and my buddy was playing the mermaid mask. Beautiful, charming game. Ooh. I've heard about the mermaid mask. What type of game is that? Also, Carson, if you're still hanging around, people from Carson's raid, you definitely need to go follow Silas here. Silas is fairly new to art, and it is insane. The levels that his skills have gone up since he started drawing. Has like the most beautiful background designs and like texture work. Hold on, I can do a shout out. There's a shout out option. Can any of my mods do a shout out? I think I only have one mod here. Let me see here. But yes, they are not getting nearly enough attention for their skills, just saying. That's why it's like, Carson, you came and found me. I'm surprised you have not found this man yet. Did that work? Yes! Beautiful. Alright, is everybody... Alright. Wait, Silas, do you have a website yet? Because I know for a long time you didn't. You should link that. Okay. I think I've exhausted talking about Akitas now. If anyone's got another animal segue you want me to go on. Less than 4 raccoons are caught by Akitas, exactly. Oh my god. That's why I said I wasn't willing to let her fight 5. I've known my other Akita could do 3. And I didn't want to risk this one, who's significantly smaller than my old Akita, because she's a mix, she's not purebred. I didn't want to, and plus she's got 1 eye, folks. Yeah, she's good at killing rats, but she's got 1 eye. She's got a handicap, so I wasn't about to let her fight raccoons. Plus, like I said, the raccoons are native. There we go. I'm about to say, Silas does some of my, Brandon, if you ever come to my, one less eye to worry about, oh my god. That is true. Hold on. I'm gonna do what Carson does so well, and hi, Faye Helmet, how goes it? Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry. Alright, we gotta go. I gotta... It goes good. That's good to hear. I was just in the process of... We're doing some traditional sketching today, but since I got rated by both Carson, who's a fantastic artist, and Silas, who's another fantastic, both beautiful, wonderful artists that do very skilled stuff, I want to show... Because Carson always does this, and I absolutely love that he does, and so I want to... Wait, I can do this one. Hold on. Because Carson's very sweet, and he's done this for me multiple times. And it is a good idea to do. Alright. We're gonna look at Silas's website real quick. Oh no, hold on. I got way big. I thought if I full screen the window it'd still be fine, not go massive on me. Okay. I'm trying to think of which ones I've got prints of. Look at this texture. Isn't that beautiful? I think this one's glorious. Absolutely love that head shape. This eye, it's so cool. And then, hold on, I'm trying to find, let's see if you got, oh, it's not, oh wait, no, it is here. I know that you might not like this one, Silas, because it's just an environment art, but I absolutely love this. I love the texture on these rocks, because it's like, it's what it's when you go to a river and you're looking at this in real life, right? And at first it just seems like all the rocks are just innocuous, boring rocks. But then when you look closer, you start seeing all these like whirls of different materials in them, or different aging periods or patterns and weather. And it's like you found a way to enunciate that and get like, make it evocative of that introspective, you know, look. And that's what I adore about this. Yes, go check out Silas's work. Very happy to give Silas a shout out because holy crap. And yes, now I know very well the feeling you have right now, Silas, because it's what I get every time Carson does this to me. Alright, I have to chug some tea now because y'all are making me chat so much that I'm dying. Okay. This is, by the way, I'm not left-handed, I'm right-handed, so the camera is flipped. Just in case you're wondering. It's a weird thing where when the camera's always upside down, and when I flip it, for some reason it also mirrors it. And I just let it happen because it's like having the Photoshop thing of like, always make sure to flip your canvas, except I have it on stream in front of me. Zeta Carl, thank you for the follow! Are the alert sounds still playing for you all? Because I'm not hearing them. And I'm not sure if I just somehow things got routed differently. I did have to switch my headset and everything, so my audio kind of all got messed up recently. But oh my goodness. Okay. But yes. Oh, that does remind me. I will remember to share this before I forget. We started a Discord server. Don't feel obligated to. This is literally for people that want to send me, you're not hearing them, just the regular chat alerts. Okay, so at some point it got disconnected. Ah, oh, dang, sorry. There was a bunch of audio with the runaway one. That was... okay. Alright, I'm gonna post the Discord for people who want to post art in there, because I know Stay Helmet was here in chat with those redeems, is why I was thinking of it, and they posted a ton of their stuff. They have some really cool pixel art as well. But if you want to check that out, I'm not gonna share that without permission, since it's not like on a public website. Alright, let me... I'm guessing that's a stream hookup that's messing up there. I don't know. If anyone knows, if any of my more tech-savvy stream people know how to fix that, and it's a quick fix, I will fix that. If not, I'm gonna keep drawing. Ooh, this is much sharper than I expected. Apologies, I had to mute to sneeze. Okay. I hope you're all enjoying the bombastic side eye my dog keeps giving me from behind. Oh, that is the... Ooh, that's black. Ooh, that's not what I thought that was. I always keep out like a horde of pencils at different sharpnesses of lead, depending on the stage I'm doing. So usually I have 3, like a soft lead, a medium pointy, and then a very, very fine pointy, for depending on what level of detail I'm doing. So that was why I have a horde and not just one, if you're wondering. I can have a different audio source on Streamlabs for follower alert. That's not the chat message alert. That could be off, or the follower alert on the Twitch side is broken somehow. Well, I have an alert box, and I have a Twitch alerts overlay. And they claim they have... But I'm not sure what, because those routed to like a very specific thing, didn't they? Audio monitoring. No, I don't know what that is. Yeah, I can't remember where in the heck I like even linked that in Streamlabs, which I keep meaning to switch over. I know Carson's still around. I'm wondering if Carson uses Streamlabs or OBS. Also, Silas, which one are you using? What are other streamers using? Is my question. Like, I think Streamlabs largely started behaving after I fixed my... or I got a new headset. OBS? Okay. It's like, I'm wondering if it's still as, good at integrating into YouTube and Twitch as Streamlabs, since it's more open source. Up to you to troubleshoot this second if you want to. I usually have to test a lot of stuff if something like this is broken. Oh, okay. But I don't think I actually know what I'm doing. Alright. Hylian uses Streamlabs. Okay. Yeah, that's why it's like, if it was a quick, like, just copy paste one thing into this and it will rehook up and it'll work, I'd do it. But if it's gonna be like 15 minutes of troubleshooting, that's not what I started streaming, or, you know, what people tuned in for. So I'll apologize for there not being 1,000 alert sounds. But it's like the Streamlabs, okay, so Streamlabs has, like, you could choose themes that you can, you know, that people offered up to the, or the, I think you could pay for a lot of them. There's some free ones, but it's like all your framing, like I have all my, you know, my name, my recent follower stuff, and like your ending soon screens and all that is like part of the kit. And I know that's easy enough to make, but I just, you know, there's very nice free ones, so why not use them, kind of thing. But I don't know if OBS has that. Okay, I'm gonna do this toes a little bit different. Just because I'm noticing this is getting... some parts of this are looking a lot like most people would not notice at all that this looks a lot like a concept that I did for a project that may probably never see the light of day, but I see a tiny bit of overlap, so I'm like, I'm gonna get rid of it. You can do a lot of crazy shit with OBS? Oh, okay. Like, what's define a crazy shit? I guess I should be very happy I don't have a clip happy following, because they'd be getting some definite bangers from me. Stream? What? Did something happen to stream? I don't see any alerts. Raylan, you have me paranoid. Is something wrong with stream? You use OBS for local recording, honestly. Okay. Okay, Raylan. Alright, when you just say stream, I'm like, what broke? I'm expecting it to be like, you know, look over and see a bunch of little orange banners that are telling me I've got like a 10-minute delay or something. Stop panicking me. Something Borks, I'll tell you something more helpful than that. Okay. Well, I'd hope so, but you know, sometimes people are just like, you know, like, when you see people freeze in like a horror movie, when they were like, dinosaur, or something like that. Not that I'd say that this is a moment of horror, but you know, that the loss of my dulcet tones of snarky Midwesterner who fled to the West Coast voice you know, I thought maybe the loss of it might cause crushing fear and panic. A German furry streamer called Silly Emmy is only using OBS, but it took her a long time to know how to set it up, and organizing it is key, so she says. Oh, that's okay. Well, that is a heavy point towards Streamlabs, because as I mentioned earlier, I am like 90% certain I have ADHD, and I've been trying to get that diagnosed, but US medical care system, yay! And so yeah, when it comes to stuff that I have to like is a new thing for me to organize, my brain immediately wants to nope out. Alright. So right now I like the toe shape, but it's a little like too clean, so I'll probably do, I think if two nails were this close together, I think first these nails are not going to be, because like ours are like on the, your nails in most or a lot of things, I actually don't know what the ratio is of attached claws to non-attached, like cats, you know, that's why you're not supposed to pull their claws, because you're literally taking out the last digit. But it's like a lot of nails, like on an elephant's foot is one of the most obvious ones. Their bones are like way back here and their toenails are way up here, so they're very just free floating kind of thing, which you cannot see that little pencil scratch. But so these free floating toenails are really close to each other. I think that they would just start mushing, the keratin would just start layering together. It's kind of like how you see some like trying to think like an equivalent, maybe the iron snails, which Faye Helmet had a very cool pixel art version of that on the Discord. I love some iron snails. They're just one of the most fascinating kind of examples of biology making it work in a crazy way that we probably would not have assumed was possible until we found it. I'm just saying there's a probably breakdown into kind of like chunky, but that's more of a detail thing I'll worry about later. I gotta decide what I'm doing with the head, which I may have been avoiding up until now. I started drawing the eye down here, which works well for going from this shape, which, like, a lot of people ask me, like, why did you erase that trait? It's to follow shape language in a piece. So, like, this shape leads into this shape, but if I go, and if I place the eye up here, then it goes kind of like that. I think would be the spot it would point towards, and then we'd have to kind of use the shape from, yeah, I think this eye is just harder to sell. Like, I'll sketch it out a little bit just to kind of, like, it'd still be a very doable design, but I know for me that it works better to go down there. Hello, White Knight! How are you? I was talking chat's ear off about Akitas and with a brief foray into Japanese war crimes. You know, as we do. Oh my goodness. Which I forgot, there was a lot of chat back there. Did I catch all of it? It's true. Alright, what am I doing? Okay, okay. Sorry, I had to scroll up a little bit because I know at one point Carson was talking about growing up with in a Chinese immigrant family in the Japan thing. That yeah, it's just crazy wild because kind of because it gets ignored in Japan and because the U.S. is a large reason of why Japan kind of got away with the war crimes because they immediately kind of launched into Cold War stuff and started scooping up all the scientists they could. So they just kind of pretended all that stuff didn't happen. So that's how that kind of viewpoint came into America as well. That we just pretended didn't happen. So it's insane when people actually start looking into, you know, stuff outside of, not that Germany's war crimes should ever be ignored, but the other war crimes of World War II. You were just doing office day at your coworker's friend's house helping socialize her doggo. He's part Belgian Malinois. Ooh, those are beautiful, very smart, and very difficult dogs. Like, I would love a Belgian Malinois, but I know that even though I walk this dog like 4 miles a day, that isn't enough for a Belgian Malinois. Like, I would need to do double that. Because they're just intensely smart doggos. And, like, Raya is very, very smart. It's very easy to train her. So that's why she came to me completely untrained. She was a blank slate, but she's been beautiful to train since then. But Malinois, they need a job. So sometimes training is not enough stimulus for them. You got treats taken out of my hand, but couldn't give pets. Because was it that it didn't want pets, or that the owner was just trying to set that boundary? Because I'm curious. I've met Belgian Malinois that are both very friendly, or not very friendly, but friendly. And you know, I don't think you're ever going to see a golden retriever acting Belgian Malinois, but and I met some very antisocial ones. I am not yet that acceptable. Ah, yes. Okay, so you got the slow intro. That's how you gotta do it with Raya. She is a slow intro dog. So it's like, once she gets to know somebody, she adores them, but she's gotta get to know you. I'm not even totally sure what I'm doing for this head yet. I'm just kind of following the shape language and seeing where it takes me. I know I kind of, for the sake of what I'm designing, like I'm designing this to be pulling stuff by a very heavy braided rope, almost like the ones you see in like Asian temples, or on like sacred trees, stuff like that. The sort of like that, but I want it more flat. So I have to think about, like, okay, this animal didn't evolve to do that naturally. Like, unless this is, you know, an alien species that's somehow creating animals from the ground up. But in this case, that, you know, unless it's a hyper-specific set of rules in your story or your universe that says that, they're going to have to be naturally formed this way. So I have to think about why. So I'm going with that they're kind of working like a bighorn ram. So this, or like a Pachycephalosaurus. So they're going to be ramming a bit with this. So I have to think this is like a big bony hump, right? And there's going to be a lot of fat and fur here as shock absorption. Because if you look at like bison, that's why they got like that short neck, that almost everything you see that ever, I don't even want to say almost, I'm pretty sure, I will be very surprised if there is an animal in existence that uses headbutt as a tactic and doesn't have a shortened neck. Because you need their spines are developed to be extra wide, or not extra wide, but extra tall and thick. And it's so they can have all these muscles in here that just, I keep drawing on the wrong side, that just shock absorb all that impact. So I need to think of that, and then I also need to think of like, okay, what it needs to, if its head's on this side, it needs to protect this head from being crushed to death. So even though for me, for a domestic one, it would kind of it would make more sense to have this like a cute little face popping out here. Right now, this head is way too exposed, so I have to consider how I'm doing that. I hope people don't mind. I'm going to change the channel because this one's a little too weird for me. Chonk it up. Well, that's why I'm probably like, I have the hard bony ridge, so I might actually catch this out a little bit more. Like a turtle shell. Which there are turtles, speaking of ramming, that will get like big spurs like this on the tip of their, like usually the under part of their shell. Which for those that don't know, the turtle shell is its spine. It is not a separate thing. It's not like a toenail. It's literally its spine. But they'll get like little hooks like this so that they can hook it under the shell of the other turtle and flip them on their back and knock them out. You gotta go, have a great stream. Thank you so much, Silas. I hope more people get to check you out now. But yes, thank you so much for hanging out and thank you for the raid. Have a good afternoon. Right, I don't want to go that far up though. We're not gonna go quite horny turtle far. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, bye-bye. I really gotta fix my emotes. I need my 1,000 beans saying goodbye. I have to figure out what level of horny turtle I'm going to make this. Maybe move the head back even further because its back is bone too, like turtle. Yeah, well, it is kind of what it's probably going to have to evolve somewhat, but a turtle does still have to, like, that's why their necks are so extendable, is because they still have to graze. So they kind of have this, you know, double-edged sword of like, they need this protective spine and it's also used for fighting, but like, it's so rigid that they can't, you know, flex that to graze, so then they have to have a very extendable neck to make up for that. So if I put the head all the way back in here, like, this thing would only be able to, like, put his head down this far. So essentially, he'd only be able to eat grass that came up that high. And that's problematic. That's how you make yourself extinct real fast. So, like those kind of animals have existed in the past, and they are the ones that went extinct really quick. Hello, Shayaga. I saw your pygmy hippo. How did it go? I was stalking on you earlier. I just realized everybody I was lurking on is now it has big legs that can ram into things. Oh, you talking about this for eating? I mean, that'd be one thing. I still feel like having virtually no flexibility in the neck, though, is just the nail in the coffin for evolution. Just going back on paleo records, anything that's been that hyper specialized, like, I think the modern day equivalent might be like like the swordbill hummingbird. Like that is in a, you know, evolutionary arms race against other hummingbirds and one specific flower. And it's like, if that flower goes extinct, that hummingbird is effed. So it's like, if this creature is entirely hinged upon one, you know, giant gourd or whatever it's cracking open, that's just such a genetic bottleneck that I sincerely doubt it would be around long enough to become domesticated, is my thought process. But it is a valid thing. Like, I do want to do probably like an extendable neck. Like, it might just be that this part is a hard shell and there is like area for it to arch its neck back in here. So I think I may just have to kind of like hinge this eye a little bit. This is where I wish I was working digitally, because I would take this eye and just rotate it. You had worries, but your computer is still alive? Oh no, well, I'm glad to hear it's still alive. I'm sad you had worries. Is there a specific theme for the sketch? This one is... It was just an idea I had pop up in my head the other night that was kind of like, I wanted to do a Beast of Burden that was based off of, like, you see a lot of, like, carriers in the mountains of, like, Mongolia and Nepal, which this is just coincidental that I was thinking about this and then the news today. But so you'll get these, but anyways, you get these people that are carrying these massive loads on their backs, and they just have like a little headband, and that's all they're really kind of using to pull it with. And sometimes I've got like some folders in my reference folder that are like, or images in my reference folder that are like old women doing that, but with just like giant bamboo or reed piles on their back. So I kind of wanted to make like a version of that as like a domesticated beast. So it's like kind of how we have oxen, or we, you know, domesticated oxen and had them. It's going to work a bit like that, but it's like they're used for either towing very heavy carts or like all the loads on their back kind of thing. As for a specific purpose, it's not necessarily. It's more than likely it's just like another creature from my bestiary, for my, as part of my tabletop. Like, this will probably be more one for my tabletop RPG campaign setting, but I do have some crossovers that are going from that to my monster manual that I'm doing. It's also for like tabletop games, because the RPG campaign setting is going to take too long. But a lot of the basis for doing those books or that bestiary is that I wanted to have other things to populate the world that weren't just enemies to fight. You watched Kaizen, a French YouTuber who's climbed Everest 2 days ago, and they have Sherpas. Ah, yeah, Sherpas are a good example. And these are very, like, I would say they're kind of, by extension, becoming very yak. This is becoming very yak. Alright, but I need to make sure... I was starting to bend this in case, like, this form right here, I was starting to bend in the thoughts that I might just go full armadillo and make these, like, plates that merge into each other. And I might do that partially, but if I'm having the neck extend up into this bony ridge here, I don't necessarily need to have a full armadillo head. I might put an armadillo nose, honestly. But then I need to kind of pull this form away now to show that it's not attached. Seems logical indeed. I kind of was like, I'm hoping nobody thinks I'm like trying to poo-poo on your ideas or anything like that. I'm just, it's nothing like that. It's just kind of the way my brain thinks. Is there's a lot of things that I have considered and kind of canceled out mentally, just by the nature of like who I am, what I've studied, what I do as a job, which is I design monsters and creatures. So it's like, it's not me trying to poo-poo on an idea or anything like that. It's just that literally I've like a lot of the stuff that you bring up, it is a good chance I've kind of like thought about it, nixed it. it's very interesting to listen to the train of thought. Okay, that is good to hear, because sometimes I worry it's just like I am the only damn person that cares about that kind of thing. Like, you have no idea how many times I've done a project and I've had these like deep in-depth thoughts about a design, and they're just like, we just need a cool looking fish. Just give us a cool fish. And I'm like, here's your fucking fish. Neck flexibility being an important survivability asset is something I never thought about, actually. Yeah, it's kind of curious to see how, like I mentioned, the hummingbird, the swordbill hummingbird being very hyper focused in its evolution. There's a term for it and I can't think of it right now, but like giraffes are kind of another extreme, right? In that they've got those massively long necks because their necks literally evolved with the acacia trees that they eat. So like the trees have gotten taller and taller and their necks have gotten longer and longer and longer. And so now they're kind of in their, what I would say is kind of like the demise of their line, probably because of that. I love how you could justify my... the way you say that makes it sound like I'm delusional. Like I'm Karening or something and they're just watching me rant about something that only makes sense to me. But anyways, the giraffes, their necks have gotten so damn long that now when they eat, they have to, or not when they eat, because when they eat is the whole reason their neck is like that. When they drink, they have to become the letter T. Or not the letter T, the letter... They have to become an arrow. I don't know why I thought this was a letter. But essentially, they have to do this to drink. They gotta go and splay their legs way the frick out here, right? And they have to do it usually, like, the back legs will usually stay straight, but sometimes they gotta do all four to get low enough. And this is an incredibly vulnerable pose. This is when, like, you're often, if you've ever wondered, like, how in the frick does a pack of hyenas, like, or, you know, 3 lions take down a giraffe that's so freaking massive and it's just nothing but hard-ass bone within their range that they can bite, and they can't really get a decent grip on that at all. And it's like, it's when they're in this pose. This is when they're really easy to sneak up on and, like, jump on the back of, and that's usually how they end up starting to go down, is once they get something on their back like this. This is heavy. Big cats are heavy. And, so they just literally wear them down by, like, riding them into the ground while gnawing on them. So that's kind of why, like, giraffes, I would not be surprised if, you know, in a couple thousand years, there's no more giraffes. But, you know, if we were not a part of this picture, is the big caveat there. The giant caveat. If we were not part of the picture, because there's a very good chance everything will be extinct within a couple thousand years, purely because of us. Man, so that's just kind of like part of how, like, the weird nuances of evolution that's why I said I would probably, if I could afford to go back to college for biology, I would study, like, evolutionary bottlenecks and stressors like that. I just find it fascinating. On that note, how many obsolete features do you think you can add to an animal if it's domesticated? Like, we feed it now, so whatever weird evolutionary shit is going on with it, now it's useful for us. I mean, I'm trying to think of, like, what are some late... I think, like, chickens we have thoroughly fucked up now. So I think chickens are a good example of the line you can draw. Now, funny thing about chickens. They were domesticated all from one species of wild chickens that you can see like around Singapore. Wild chickens look a lot like our regular ass chickens. They just look like if you know like a Rhodesian red looks a decent amount like a wild chicken. It's been, you know, however long humans have been farming chickens. I'm gonna look up when chickens got domesticated. But I bring up those chickens because they don't fly either. You'd think they would be able to fly, but they have wings. They kind of flap around. So it's been 8,000 years we've domesticated chickens. So those ones, they have never been able to fly. So we kind of, that's how I guess they were so easy to domesticate, probably. So we got all these different varieties out of that one chicken. We have a ridiculous amount of ones that are purely like feather and color, prettiness. We've gotten their eggs massively larger. Their, you know, laying patterns significantly increased. And that's like, that is a fine, like, okay, so we mess with their egg size, their laying rates, and their, oh my gosh, thank you for the raid again. Holy cow, we're getting a raid today. We scooped those up, yeah. Thank you so much for the follow and for the raid. British Sign Language, ooh, very cool. I've been meaning, I want to learn ASL. I'm trying to find a decent YouTube training course. But hello, Raiders. We were just talking about evolutionary bottlenecks and what, like, the effects of domestication. And we were talking about how chickens got domesticated. So yeah, that was the current tangent that Chad had set me on. Because I am a gigantic animal nerd, in case you couldn't tell. Not that my dog is gracing me with her presence right now, she's left me. But, but yeah, we were just talking about how chickens got domesticated from wild chickens in Singapore and Indonesia. That are genetically or physically not that different from egg-laying chickens that we use. We just kind of increase their color ranges, their feather patterns, and their egg and laying size. And those were, so that's like 4 different things that we changed about a chicken, and they've been fine for domestication, or like how many things you can add to them. But now, if you look at meat chickens, we made them bigger. And I was like, okay, so, you know, you can get kind of like 5.5 in there. But now we've gotten to the point that the chickens grow insanely fast. Like, they are chicken to, like, baby hatch to, like, dinner table in, like, 4 to 6 weeks, something like that. It is insanely fast. This is a cool conversation to pump it. Hi, Munchkin Knight. How goes school? Yeah, meat chickens are totally... If anyone's lost as to what my tangent is, I apologize. I'm on a tangent and I must finish it. But, so yeah, so that we've made it so that they get the broiler, I think they're called broiler chickens. And, but also if you get to ones that are like not, raised free range somehow, like broiler chickens are so stupid and like terribly bred that like even a free range chicken is in a hut, in a hut on grass if the farm is really good, which is very rare. But they still can't be like wandering around a field because we've made their breast muscles so heavy that they just fall over all the time, especially ones that are factory farmed. Like, all those chickens, they can't get off the ground anymore by the time we butcher them. So, like, that... So we had, like, 4 good... You know, the 4 good traits, kind of 5, and then as soon as you added the very fast aging and the massive breasts for meat production, they just, you know, failed. So that kind of gives you an idea of, like, how much pressure you can put on species to, like, in your domestication efforts before you're just eradicating the poor things into oblivion. But yeah, so that's why I went on the rant about chickens, because they're a good example. Now, domestication, some of the first thing you see... The stream is just one large string of barely connected tangents. Is it bad though? Should I not be doing this? Like, I genuinely need chat to tell me to shut up if I need to shut up. If you're like, just draw. I will just mute and draw, I swear. Maybe I should put a poll up. How many of you think my, whenever I eventually get the doctors to give me an ADHD test, do you want to take a poll as to whether or not that's going to prove? I'm gonna do it just because I want to see what everyone thinks. Alright, hold on. I'll put this up for 5 minutes. There's a poll now. Alright. Class got canceled today, so I was in a weird limbo where I felt like I should be at something, but there wasn't really any homework I could do. Oh! Keep tangenting is fun to listen to and intriguing. Okay! Alright, well that's good to hear. Please continue with science. I am very glad that you all like this, because this is what's constantly in my brain, and I want to talk about it so much, but there's only so much I could tell. Or like, I will give Ernesto a lot of credit. He listens to me rant about a lot of shit, and then I find out that he goes and tells his friends some of the stuff that I ranted about. Like, he's like, "Oh, I went and told you know, Raph about that," and I was like, "Oh." That makes me happy, but he's still, you know, he's only got so much patience. Is it just the animal nerd is a sign of ADHD? It's just funny because my brother got diagnosed when he was very little and I like never got tested for it, even though I did get tested for whether I was deaf or not. Because I had very selective hearing as a child, apparently. And my selective hearing included tuning out the priest at my private Catholic school. You're the kind of person who watched Mythbusters for comfort. Oh, that is totally a comfort show. This is a different kind of science enjoyable. Yay! Husband and I are both inoculated with each other's interests. Yeah, it's just like so many times I point this out to Ernesto. Like I'm like, oh look at this cool biological things, and like he'll absorb it, and but he's, you know, he's not, his eye is glossing over, but it's obviously my niche, not his. All right, before I forget, what was I on to? So we talked about domestication. Oh yeah, the science of domestication in animals. So I'm sure a lot of you probably heard that raccoons are starting to show signs of domestication. That kind of like made the rounds very popularly. And it does not mean in our lifetimes we're going to have raccoons in our house, unless you're doing something illegal. But like in a, you know, maybe like 1,000 years, maybe if we super encourage it, a couple hundred, but. It's the House of Stockholm. I do love that though. Like my family has absolutely zero interest in any of my stuff that I like this. Like could not care less. My entire family. I remember, like, there's been times we've been on trips and, like, when my mom forced us all into a cruise, and I was like, I really want to go to this, scuba dive this, like, this coral reef, this tour and see all these rare fish, and my mom's like, Well, the family has decided we're going to the beach. And I'm like, but there's beaches everywhere. Or there's been times where like I wanted to go into a butterfly sanctuary one time when we were looking for things to do in Key Largo or Key West, and I was like, oh, there's a butterfly sanctuary, why don't we go to that? And my like sister-in-law looked over at me and she was like, you enjoy that, we're gonna go over to the beach. Everything's the freaking beach. But so I totally don't have some trauma from that, but it's nice to feel validated in my weirdness. Tangent again. Raccoons. Domestication. Yes. So the signs of domestication that raccoons are starting to show is shortened snouts. That's one of the first things. So you see, like, it's almost kind of like if you've ever taken a character design course and they're like, how do you identify a good character versus an evil character? And it's like, round them out. Happens to be how domestication works. We kind of round things out a little bit. And the other thing is unique color patterns. Like all of our crazy colored pets, that is very much a domestication trait. Wild horses have so many colors because they're just descended from domestic herds, but most of the time you do not see that amount of color variation in wild animals. Like even the African painted dogs, yeah, they're wild colors, they've got beautiful colors, but like they all still look the same, right? They just got spots in different patterns. Beaches are everywhere. Is that what your jinx is? You get a soda? That's a fun one. Humans are domesticated. Yeah. It is a little sad in that we can technically point to the beginning of farming civilization as like the human point of domestication. But it's also, as far as I could tell, I have not like gone like full research in this because this is a little off my usual beaten path of interest. Is it's also where women in society went from being equals to being crushed. Before that, like, there were women hunters, there were women leaders, there were women, and it's not like we're not incapable of it, it's just like as soon as farming became a thing and like we needed the upper body strength to push a till or a plow, that was as soon as like the balances got turned, and it doesn't even matter that that's not relevant anymore, it's just the damage was done kind of a thing. Oh wait, we can see the do I have ADHD results. Good lord, yes. Nobody voted. Alright, no, we got a tie between good lord, yes, and nah, you're just weird. Alright. This is why I gotta do a test. It's like I might just be hyper fixated on stuff. I am adding a little bit of, this is kind of me falling into a crutch right here, as I like doing kind of like horned ribbing things. It's something you'll see on, I guess if you look at like a bighorn ram's up close. Why not both positive? I'm both weird and ADHD. Por qué no los dos? Yes. I'm just a little curious as to if I get diagnosed, if there's like any kind of changes to the medications they have me on that could maybe help me focus or be better at, you know, not avoiding tasks that I absolutely loathe as bad as I do. Remember how much bulb I bought you? No family fighting in the chat, please. Also, damn Munchkin Night, you got boba growing up? I'm sorry, that is my repressed Midwestern upbringing showing again. I did give him a little bit of a beak. You would let them try them at least. If they don't work, oh well, but if they do, that's great. Yeah. It's like if it's not something I can really get help with, then it's like, okay, I've found my coping mechanisms throughout my life. I'll be fine. But if it does something like I know I mentioned before, this is legal where I'm from, just heads up, that I will occasionally take a small edible, like a microdose essentially, because that will help me focus, and I don't understand why that helps me focus. Like, that's supposed to do the opposite for most people, but not for me. Yeah, no, White Knight, I totally, yeah, no. You're my other Midwestern transplant. But in the 70s, man, we still had sundown towns until, like, the late 80s, early 90s, as far as I remember. One bad Chinese restaurant in town. Oh, that was still where I grew up in Wisconsin. We had the Sarku Japan in the mall, which was a 45-minute drive away. And that was ran all by Latinos. But then we had one Chinese takeout place that my mom would often take me to work with her after school, just because she like had to leave work, pick me up, and then we didn't have babysitter money, so I'd go with her to work and just kind of hang out while she was finishing her shift. And so sometimes she'd order, like, if it was a day where I had off of school, I just had to go to work with her. And so her coworkers were like, let's order Chinese takeout. So they got Chinese takeout from that place at one time. And my mom bit into her spring roll, and there was a cigarette in it. There was a cigarette butt in her spring roll. Never order from there again. But yeah, there's a lot of scary any kind of not American food in the Midwest is a gamble. Which is kind of funny, because where I grew up there was actually a very large Hmong population, because or there is still, because it's where a lot of the refugees got relocated to after the fiasco that was the Korean War. So it's like, but I think for a while they obviously couldn't afford to open a business, so like, even though we had a large population, that we still had terrible restaurants. And now when I go back there's been a few times where I've actually tried some really good Asian food. So I think now they're finally kind of getting some generational wealth built up to be able to, you know, run a family place and actually get real Asian food or Asian cooking. Thank God. This is kind of looking a little bit like the what was the name of the antithesis of the Skeksis and the Dark Crystal? I'm glad I could traumatize you, chat. You're welcome. Mystics. Ah, thank you. One of these days I'm gonna have to ask one of my usuals to keep track of the tangents I go on in a stream with like timestamps, because I really want to see where my brain goes. Okay, so this is, I added this hard part right here, which I think is fine. This could slide in under here just fine. So it's a little armadillo. I pulled in a little bit of armadillo. And this, I think, is going to be kind of like a bit of a hard spot, but not entirely. Like, this is going to be more, I think I would consider it more scoots. Which, for those that aren't familiar with what scoots are, you see them on, especially old ankylosaurs and chelosaurs. I'm not sure. I think it's ankylosaur. But that's what those little bony plates are. And they're usually not attached to the spine. They're usually free-floating. So I'm going to kind of put some kind of bony plates on here. But this is where this... Essentially, he's going to be able to breathe in deep because the terrain where I'm guessing this critter is from is going to be fairly high altitude, which means there's very little oxygen content. So, you learned about scoots from Monster Hunter. Nice. So yeah, this is a very high oxygen, low oxygen content in the air, and like a high altitude creature. So it needs to be able to inhale a ton. So that's why I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it these big nostrils, but you can't just have them be able to inhale a ton. They also have to be able to close that air passage down because it's also very cold. And like, it can get very windy or dusty depending on where you're at. This is why if you look at the Saiga antelope, they have those giant noses. They're the ones that recently, they had like a fungal infection in their nostrils and essentially wiped out a ton of the population. I think they're rebounding now, but it was a crazy rough time for them. Is a scoot what you do when you need to move a little to land a great sword hit? That's also a scoot, but that's a scooch. A movement is a scooch. A bony plate is a scoot. But yeah, this nostril is going to be set up to close, but it's also going to be set up to like inhale. It will like pretty much be able to inflate this all the way up, suck in a bunch of air, and then like clamp the nostrils back down as needed to keep out wind, dust, all that nonsense. The joke is you scoot and still miss the greatsword hit, as is tradition. Oh, okay. I wouldn't know this because I absolutely hate playing the greatsword. Dual blade or insect glaive, maybe. I do like the warhammer, or not the warhammer. The hammer's not terrible. I like the horn. The horn has been growing on me. Right, so I am gonna add a decent amount of like loose skin texture here, a bit like how you'd see like a trunk on an elephant, just because it needs to have folding in skin so that it has the ability to poof out. A bit like when you see a frog ribbit. Dual blades and hammers are your go-tos. Sploot? No, okay. It's the opposite of spilt when you gather all your limbs under your body. Oh my god. I'm not going down this tangent of word origins. I don't know enough about word origins to tangent on this. Thank god. Also, I'm gonna stop zoning out on the face right now because I've got a decent amount of detail in there, and even though I'm wearing gloves, it's a very good chance I'll like push stuff around and smudge it, so I'm gonna leave it right now. Do you do D&D? Any thoughts on new dragon designs? I do D&D. Though my most active campaign right now is actually Pathfinder. And then my other campaign is based on the Adventure Zones one. I'm trying to remember what it's called. So I haven't really had a chance to like actually have an encounter with any of the new dragon designs. I do like them. I like the artists that make them, and they did a great job. They are very like anatomically, like Todd Lockwood's old designs I still adore. Like I didn't think there was anything necessarily wrong with the old designs, and the new designs I think are more biologically possible. The Suffering game, maybe? I'm not sure. I kind of got added to this campaign after it started because Ernesto was the DM for it, and he realized this was like one of his work friends, and then a bunch of friends that his work friends' friends. Now they're all our friends, but at the time it was that, and he is like, none of these fools are healing or doing magic. I need someone that knows what they're doing. So that's how I joined that campaign. So I haven't had a chance to really meet the new dragons, but the game we're playing, they invented the world, and kind of chose the things for it, and they chose terrible things. The society they made runs on souls, and when the people get old enough, they have to write down their life's tales in a book, and then they get murdered or yeeted out into the woods to die slowly. Morkborg? Oh god. Isn't that Robin Williams' character? Okay, so the tangent about that. So yeah, the new dragon designs, I haven't had a chance to like have an encounter with them. They are really good. I kind of wish they were like a little bit more individualized, is my only real gripe. But that's okay. If they want to stick with the, you know, it makes more sense for them to kind of look physiologically the same if they're kind of going more realistic. And also that gives me more options to make my own damn dragons for D&D, which is what I am doing. I was like, I don't know if it's the Suffering game. I thought it was like the... I can't remember. Like, if Ernesto was here, I could ask him, but I can't remember right now. I feel bad, but I've never actually seen Mork and Mindy. I should probably watch that. I just don't know if it's, you know, there's very few older TV shows that you can watch and you're like, ah, this has aged well. Most of them you're like, oh dear God. So I'm a little hesitant to watch it and kind of have my viewpoint of Robin Williams possibly be shattered. What's the evolutionary advantage of my deaf cat yelling at me from the top of her lungs from 2 feet away? That's what you get for a cat being deaf. That's not an evolutionary advantage. This is why in nature your cat would sadly probably not last long. Because they'd be attracting way too much attention from, like, let's go with coyotes would be a big one. But yeah, this is why the other thing in domestication, you see a lot more traits that would usually get, like, eaten out of the gene pool, kind of sticking around more. Bagheera can really lay big eggs now. Wait, what? Is that what you're saying? She's laying an egg? Also, I love Bagheera. It is a good name. And her defense is old age, deaf. Okay, so yeah, so actually a lot of the times when you get deaf cats, sometimes they're loud, but not all the time. Sometimes when they're born deaf, they actually kind of, they never really learn what their, you know, volume control at all. So sometimes occasionally you'll get one that actually is just really quiet. But when they age into being deaf, which is the same problem I had with my old dog Xena, when she went deaf, they get louder and louder because they notice they're getting quieter, so then they just get louder and trying to make up for it. Until eventually they can't hear themselves anymore, so they're just screaming at you. She also absolutely has some Siamese, which is not helping. Oh yeah, those are very vocal cats, aren't they? Like I think it was like a little Siamese. Well, I mean, I know there's a thing with like cat breeds that's like, unless you have papers, your cat is just an American Shorthair kind of thing. But I had a cat growing up that was like I guess kind of a rescue. My cousin found a Chester. He was like pretty much like an orange point Siamese color. But he had blue eyes that were cross-eyed. And then every once in a while you'd see him try to play and he'd be like, I think he didn't have a great sense of balance. So he got along great in my family because he wasn't all up on top of things, because I think he had terrible balance. I went back to noodling on the face. The signature tail kink, ah. I just know it's a lot harder to track, like, breeds in cats than it is in dogs. Your vet thinks your Scarlet is part Siamese because she's very vocal and horribly cross-eyed. Do the butt of it. I will eventually. I'm avoiding it. How dare you call me out. Alright, I'm gonna turn off Raya Cam since she's not in here anymore, and all you're gonna see is my dog hair covered pants. How dare you call me out for very obviously ignoring this part. I'm gonna get a piece of paper on top of this so I don't smudge it though. Yes, though, okay, so here's a fun part. Part of the reason why, here, I'll give you another useless side tangent slash fact. I just got a very cheap thing of tracing paper to wedge between papers, or pieces. But I could do this and not smudge as much, and you can still see some of it. But anyways, part of the reason... Part of the reason why dogs are a little easier to track is, well, breed standards got set ages ago. Did not really happen for the same for cats nearly as much until like fairly recently. And this is because dog breed standards happened because dogs were way more of a working animal. Just kind of the cold hard truth of the fact is, like, cats were good there for mousing, but that was about it. Versus dogs, you know, we had hunting dogs, we had sheep guarding dogs, we had dogs that's literally entire existence was meant to run in a wheel and power the bellows on, like, the kitchen in a building. Like, there was a dog breed specifically meant for that. It's now extinct, but yeah. And then you got, like, dachshunds that are meant for, like, going after badgers and stuff. So it's like, there was way more reason to have breed standards because it was, these weren't pets, these were working animals, like draft horses and, you know, running horses, riding horses, all that stuff. Cats wandered into people's houses and said, I live here now. Yes. And also, we've domesticated dogs. I think they've shown, 3 times at this point. I think cats they've shown twice as well. But it's just a little funny that we've domesticated, like, wolves on multiple things. But anyway, so that's one reason why it's easier to track dogs, is because we've just had breed standards for much longer. So there's much more paperwork and all that. But then, also, at some point... Wait, now you can't get out of my head a dog named Oven who was one of those bellow hamster wheel pups. Oh god. I think, is that the one that's taxidermied? Anyways, before I get on another tangent about that, one of the other traits, though, oddly enough, that they can use to track dog genetics is the fact that there is a parasitic dog in existence that is somehow handed down as an STD. Oh, you just think it'd be... I'm sure there was a dog named Oven. Somebody was being clever. It's like when my dad got a beef cow or beef calf growing up and he named it T-Bone, you know. Somebody was clever and named it. I love when chat catches up. Yes, there is a so at some point it was probably something like a teratoma, like a parasitic sibling or something that got absorbed into the DNA, or what, I don't know if it's actually in the DNA. It has to be. But essentially there's like a genetic bundle of what can only be described really as a parasitic, like teratoma-esque dog, but not teratoma in that it's like hair and teeth. No, like it's just like a bundle of like genes and DNA that has been passed down as an STD in dogs. And so it's one of the ways that they can use to like track dog breeds now. It's like a very far-fetched one. It's not one that you're gonna find on like whatever dog DNA site, but it is something that like scientists know about. The thing, yeah. It is sadly, like, it is kind of something that can lead to a lot of cancers because of its nature. It's, you know, a random bundle of rogue DNA hanging out. But, look at this chunky backside. I'm giving him a little bit of a gorilla butt. Which, I don't know if that's totally going to fit. I feel like I may need to... Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll have the bony plate ending, like, up here. And then this right here is just gonna be a fat hump. That's just there to absorb the impact. Which, if you're wondering, like, what is that gonna look like? Look up, like, a Indian buffalo. I think that would probably be one that would have it, that you could see. That's a wild result to see the dog version of 23andMe. Yeah. You got that teratoma STD dog. See, now you know why I study biology. There's so much weird shit. Welcome to Random Weird Animal Facts with Audrey, and segues into discussions about some occasionally awful things. Your mother was a golden retriever and your father was the parasite. Like, I'm trying to remember what breed it first showed up in. I think it was maybe like fox hunting hounds or beagles, one of the two, something. I think it was one of the hunting dogs. It may have been like before they were breed distinct, when it was just like, here's the standard for hunting dogs, because that's kind of how it started off with breeds, is it was just like, here's a good hunting dog, and then they, you know, tried to refine that dog until it became a breed kind of a thing. Trauma Center has plotline. Man, if that was ever a human case or anything even remotely like that, that would have been a House episode. You know that. There would have been Hugh Glory being all like, your father What's a parasite? Imagine that version of Star Wars. Trying to keep this funky cho, like, not quite normal. And by normal, I mean, like, our terrestrial Earth, very commonplace foot design, but still functional. Like, I don't want it to look like a weird mutation. I want it to look like it's still functional, just not like our very common, which is a little hard because there is a reason why, like, a whole lot of animals went down to, like, hoof shapes. It's like there are, you know, certain genetic reasons that make certain features very commonplace. That's why we have carcinization. Everything become crab. That's just Anakin. The midichlorians are the powerhouse of— no! I refuse your Star Wars lore. So was midichlorians, was that a, was that a George Lucas thing, or was that a, the actual brains behind Star Wars, and his wife? Was that his wife or him that did that one? Who came up with midichlorians? I wonder who came up with the magic bugbears that lead to, handling, gigantic laser beam, phallic laser beam sword. It feels like a George choice. Yes, it does. I think I'm just kind of designing these toes to be like almost like the two-toe system that you would see on, like, I guess like in camels, what I'm thinking, but more grounded, because like a camels, they spread out to spread their weight out on the sand. I'm looking for one that's both that but more powerhouse, so I'm kind of going with, like, if a rhino's foot was kind of, you copy pasted it and you rotated it 45 degrees and then you merge them together kind of thing. Well, yeah, I know his wife was the one that actually made Star Wars watchable. Was he divorced by the prequels? Okay. So yes, he's the one that's all like magical DNA bugbears. A little funky shape, but it's not bad. I might just add a little bit more. Just a little bit more, not even sure what I would refer to it as. More toes. More toenails kind of thing. I just want to make sure that the toenails that I'm putting down here actually look like they're placed down, because I think as soon as you have them kind of like up in the air up here, they look a little bit more like a weird mutation and less like an actual adaptation. Well, I mean, every single adaptation starts as a mutation. least I believe that's pretty much what the consensus is, has, but, like, it's a mutation that helps, so if it's just dangling up there, it's not necessarily helpful. At least it wasn't somehow Palpatine returned. I've kind of heard from, like, people that have worked with George Lucas that, he's one of those people that definitely thinks all of his ideas are golden. And it's just that he was so popular from that one thing that you just kind of shake your head and you're like, yes, yes, you're right, Sensei. Versus, like, I've heard kind of the opposite about James Cameron, that he's kind of a terror to work for because, from what people have said, he knows how to do everything you're doing, but better. So it's like, you have no room for your own expertise kind of thing. So I guess that can be a very intense experience. I'm a little curious as to whether that's necessarily true or if it's just true of the people who work for him, because there is like a very certain type that gets very successful in the industry, and it's called, you know, kiss-ass guys in good positions. It's a shame they didn't hand Rise of Skywalker off to literally anyone else. You know he'd never do that. That's his cash cow. He's never gonna let anybody touch his cash cow, his golden goose. I'm just gonna make this. Never mind, we're gonna get rid of these toenails back here, because as soon as I put them in there, I don't like them. That director is forever known in this household as Jar Jar Abrams. Oh my god. Oh, Jar Jar. That monstrosity is Tara Whitlack's child. She's still proud of him. Which, I mean, I feel like design-wise he wouldn't have been that bad if they hadn't given him a Jamaican accent. Like, as soon as they put the, oh, sorry, I just saw the Discord. I will get to the Discord after stream, because I know I need to organize it a bit. Like, I put my rules on the wrong thing, and it's still kind of a baby fledgling stream. But I will make a list of the games that I have on the wheel. Because, yeah, right now it's a wheel of 30 games that I put ones that I own on there, obviously, or I have access to. Just because this series is relatively new. I think we've only done 4 of them now. And I kind of need more, funds before I can start buying a bunch of games willy-nilly. So this needs to take off a bit better for me to be able to kind of start sinking funds into it. But, so for now, there's 30 games, and there's going to be a lot of horror games on there just because it's me, and I love horror. But I will put the list on there. Yes, chat chose Ori and the Blind Forest is Friday's game that we'll be playing. So the whole BC Breakdown series, as I play it, I do a game session. We make like a reference board along the way where I talk about, I'm like, oh, I think I see this in this, you know, kind of influences in here. So it might be like other games, it might be things in nature, like when we just did Ooblets last week. I was like, I think I see some Hieronymus Bosch in there. So I put some, you know, messed up paintings from the, I don't know, it was pre-Renaissance in there. But so this week is Ori and the Blind Forest. And then, yes, hopefully I will be able to... I do have a list or a channel in there for game suggestions, because I can always add stuff to my wish list and then, like, wait for sales kind of thing. Anti-cheese edition is great. Oh wait, hold on. I did not hear all these notifications. Too many times I've had rants about Abrams into Star Wars and Star Trek. Many people go glossy-eyed. Oh yeah, no, so Guy Davis, who is a friend of mine, he absolutely hates Abrams touching Star Treks. It's like the maddest I've seen him get at a series, and it's kind of hilarious. You imagine Jar Jar with like a Garrus style voice, and I don't think if I like it. Oh, I mean, I don't know. He was. So I'm very curious about this fan cut where they don't have racist voices. What did they choose for the voices in the fan cut? All right, how are we looking? How's it looking now with a booty? Also, I've decided. Okay, so I know I'm drawing it with like the. I might honestly just kind of leave the carriage stuff or the carrying stuff for like I'll like very loosely sketch it in here, but I think I'm going to leave that as something I'm going to do digitally overlaid because I want to draw what the rest of the spine looks like. The stance reminds me of a gorilla. Yes. Alienish voice, non-English with subtitles. Oh, that makes way more sense. Though, like, how many... I guess... Did Star Wars ever do the, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy thing where they just kind of, Deus Ex Machina, the whole, you can understand every alien race? Yeah, I mean, the problem is I did make this back, like, very gorilla-esque of, how caked up it can be. Which doesn't make a terrible amount of sense, but I'm thinking once I balance it out, it might be. It's more, it's not too far from a rhino, but a rhino is much skinnier. Because they don't really do headbutting as much, they more spar. And it's more of like a side-to-side swiping motion, just kind of chasing after each other. Versus I want this one to actually have impact, so I need his butt to be able to handle some impact. So if you ever look at like a bighorn ram, I love bighorn rams if you can't tell. They're kind of caked up for a deer, or not a deer, Cervidae? Are they Cervidae or are they Bovidae? They're Bovidae. I don't remember. Oh shit. For an antelope, for a ram, for a goat. That's what protocol droids are for. Babblefish, yes. The protocol droids are the universal translators? Oh yeah, I guess. I'm gonna be honest, I watched the original Star Wars, you know, back when Lucas's wife was making it intelligible. And I love those, and then everything after that I was like, did we really need this? Like, I know everybody loves The Mandalorian, and I watched, like, the first season, but then as soon as I saw, they're like, alright, here's this moment where we see how powerful Grogu is, and the alien animal that they're going against is literally a freaking woolly rhinoceros that they just lift up, and I was like, it's just a woolly rhinoceros. They didn't even try to make an alien creature. You literally got hooked on the Old Republic games. I never played any of those. I played the Pod Racer one, which was a source of much anxiety. But also that lets you know how old I am. It's like, I'd be fine if it was a woolly rhinoceros if they're like, oh, didn't you know this is actually like way in the past, and somehow all of this got, you know, this whole Space Wars happened while the Ice Age was beginning on Earth somehow. I'd be like, maybe, but then I'm like, did they ever try to explain anything like that in Star Wars? I kind of doubt it. I wanted to rage. Okay. You really like the storyline for the second Knights of the Old Republic. Okay. I have no idea what the Star Wars storylines are. Just saying. I know there's Space Wars. Maybe the old woolly rhinoceros is explained as this is happening before Or somehow on Earth. If that was an Earth cameo, I don't know. Good news. Oh, I heard they're remaking a pod racing game. I will not partake. I don't care if it has creatures and you want it as one of the Beastie Breakdown games. I will put other Star Wars games on the list before I put the pod racing one on there. I am sorry, but I already played Blasphemous 2 for you all. And I managed to actually get not as terrible at that game as I thought it was going to be, but I have to draw a line somewhere for my sanity. Also, I highly doubt a Star Wars game is going to come out that I'm going to be able to afford to do for a Beastie Breakdown game for a long time. I'd have to wait for it to come out and then go on super sale in like 8 years. Because they always come out and they're like $40, $50, and I don't got that much. Disney decanonized all the extended universe, but who can... Oh, yeah. Cries and see Bulba. Also, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of hate a lot of the Star Wars creature designs. I think I liked... Like, dewbacks were fine. They were just, like, hunchbacked lizard, basic weird things. They did, like, a boga in the new series that I'm only really familiar with because I had a metal band in Brazil that was called the Roar of the Boga. They hired me to design their album cover, so that's how I know what a boga is. And I was like, that one wasn't that bad. It was like a feathered running lizard. I think maybe the Tauntauns and the Rancor were my things that I actually liked, and then everything else I'm like, these are lazy designs. Which I know will get me a lot of hate, because I know a lot of it's like Terrell Whitlatch's stuff, and everyone adores Terrell, and Terrell is a fantastic anatomical illustrator. Like, for breaking down, for teaching people how to draw animals, top choice. I honestly don't love her creature designs, because she kind of just tends to smush together two animals, and it's very obvious that they're just kind of smushed together two animals. And so I'm not a huge fan of her creatures. Love her anatomical stuff. Just, the creatures are okay. Varactyl mount in Swoter. I have no idea what the frick a Varactyl is. I'm gonna have to Google that. And by Google I mean DuckDuckGo it. Okay, see, a Varactyl is a boga. So, okay, so that's what they call it that? Yeah. It was weird, okay, because maybe it was different in South America, what they called it? They called it a boga. It's, yeah, a lot of these are in parentheses say boga. Like, I almost wonder if you'd even find my stuff if I typed in boga. But yeah, the boga I didn't hate. It was okay. Nope, that just gets me a fish. Yeah, I guess it's also Varactyl. Interesting. Okay. Alright, we're back to segueing about something else. I'm also fond of color slugs because of Plorcite size. See, I thought you're making me Google stuff. Am I gonna have to be forced to learn about Star Wars now that I've been carefully avoiding? Oh, those guys. Okay. They're anatomically my brain's like, oh, what now? Because these two functions don't go together. The shape don't make a lot of sense to me. But like I said, there are a lot of gigs where it's like, just make cool thing and ignore, you know, anatomy, which that's actually usually what they tell me. But I want to make cool things that are both anatomically possible and cool. That's so hard. That just a rite of passage that just in the Star Wars universe they have to murder a bunch of children all the time. Like, we must introduce a character. Time to murder the children. Line them up, please. Get your children out here. We have a major plot point to advance. Time to murder. Your progeny's sacrifice is very respected by the Republic, or appreciated by the Republic. I have no idea. I have no idea who's ruling what anymore. They also kind of lost me at that moment when Mark Hamill sucked blue nipple juice out of a sheep, I don't know, beach manatee? What do you call that thing? I'm gonna guess it was like the stripper, that one bar that they had in the first trilogy. Alright, do I want this mohawk to be... This was the very beginning of the game. You gotta go through slug-infested ruins to dip a skull from the skull pile in the blood pool. That seems very pointful. Like it has definitely needed to happen and not a waste of time and effort on anyone's behalf at all. Sith rite of passage, supposedly. Okay. I guess I was expecting a slightly more, metal intro. Like, for anybody that knows Critical Role, like how Caleb got his... not the Cobalt Soul, the whatever Cerberus Assembly. Join the cool kid club. That's just to get into the academy. Okay. I can see that. I guess I was thinking, like, they gotta be real creepy with it, or much darker. Like, okay, Sith is like Spartan 300, but, you know, the movie version, not like the reality. Though actually, they did have a reality in that they did, like, weigh the male children and all this crazy stuff, and I guess if the kids didn't pass muster, some messed up stuff happened. But I was expecting kind of more like that, where they're like, alright, take all of the children and throw them in a pit with, like, a rancor, and whatever child crawls to the safety will win, or, you know. Now singing "Kill the Children" to the tune of oh my god. Or, you know, you gotta test to see if they got that midichlorian nonsense happening, and you just yeet them down a spike of pits, and it's like, if your child can force levitate themselves away from the pit spikes, then they're good enough to go on. Now we're getting to Gideon the Ninth plot points. The Sith Empire was like, shit, a bunch of Sith died in the war, we need to replenish the ranks. All force sensitivities must be trained, but you run them through the slug gauntlet first. You know. They wanted to make sure that genetic bottleneck was good and tight. The better to get all of the reoccurring mutations in. Not necessarily genetically beneficial reoccurring genetic mutations. Kind of want to give it a slightly... I gave it like a little stumpy tail. I'll give it a little bit longer one because I feel like when I draw the harness in, I will probably have it go back here and tie behind the tail. I keep being tempted to erase with this eraser, but this eraser is shit, so I gotta avoid it. It's also like 90% because the old guard were mad slaves had a chance to become Sith. Oh. Can't have an evil empire without some, you know, good old-fashioned eugenics. Or whatever the heck they're trying to do. Okay. Little stumpy tail. Are we satisfied that I have drawn? I have drawn a butt. There is a butt now. Behold the booty. 'Tis the most glorious booty. Butt achieved. Good. Good. Finish the butt while talking about Sith. Everyone sucks it. Well, yes. I mean, I swear we're gonna start getting in our own society, like, it's gonna get to the point where the parallels are so much that it's like, we might as well just throw that flag in and be like, oh, yep, we've achieved... Sorry for the dogs barking. We've achieved comical levels of, evil empire-ness in real life. What is... Is that a beaver? What is standing still on it? Whatever is standing still on that GIF is... something. It does remind me, I do have some GIF emotes I need to get at. Dogs! Why? Dompe from Ocarina of Time twerking. Okay. Oh, I did forget. I forgot to put it on Blue Sky, but I put it on Twitter, or not Twitter. God, I need to delete my account there. I just locked it down and left it. But, are you gonna come back now? Oh, thank you. You're very cute. But I found the other day a leaf on the ground that had two little eye holes carved out of it. And I was like, somewhere there's a naked Korok in my neighborhood. Why do you look so sad? Did you get yelled at? Did Ernesto spritz you? Did you get spritzed? You get spritzed? I'm sorry. His go-to for if the dogs are barking too much is to spritz them with water. Alright, now I don't have a very soft lead because I just sharpened this one because it was starting to get too soft. I'm trying to see where I can use this lead with. This is kind of weird. You can see the progression of my drawings where it's like, alright, I fleshed everything out, now I don't have the line weight that I want. I can't get the line weight I want with my current pencils, but I don't want to, like, waste it, so I'm gonna find other spots that I can use this line weight on until I draw it down, until it's smooth enough to do shading again. Whooper! He looks all mortified. I know she still looks like a sad dog that's trying her best for, like, a ASPCA commercial, but she is very spoiled. I might start using it to add some, like, kind of scale details in here. Hello, Vector! How are you doing? You've missed so much rant. Of many things. I don't even remember all that I've ranted about. Because it's been a lot. I'm gonna have to ask somebody in chat what in the heck I've been talking about. I know at some point war crimes got mentioned. The evolution of chickens. Anyways, how are you, Vector? How goes it? Akitas and war crimes, yes. Well, that's how I tangented to war crimes, as we were talking about Akitas. Akitas in World War II. Because they kind of go hand in hand. So there was, you know, you can see where the lines connect and then on that crazy conspiracy board. Yes, we talked about Star Wars, monster sucking, parasite dogs, yep. Dog parasite STD, giraffe weaknesses, yes. School just starting for you, suffering commences. Oh, Munchkin Knight is also in school right now. I apologize for your suffering. Or I not apologize, I empathize with your suffering. You will get through this. Smarter, stronger, more prepared. Not all Star Wars monsters suck. I would have had way more fun if I was given the blanket of here's an alien universe, make me some alien monsters. Let's just say that. Like, if people want like an actual good, these plates are way too big for this. I'm for a fairly flexible area, these plates are way too big. Wait, what? I can't believe Charma personally invented school. What did that? I don't even know where this came from. What tangent is this? I don't. I'm just okay. I'm just gonna draw. I'm just gonna draw. Ignore chat for a little bit. Because Raylan's talking crazy. But then I'm apologizing. That's why. I got there eventually. I got there eventually. You can see my brain working. Trying so hard to get there. Sounds like an idea for a stream. Monsters that should be in the Star Wars universe. Yeah, that's why it's like it could be fun. Like if people want to are ever interested in reading about what I think are actually like really interesting alien species designs, this is one that Guy Davis put me onto. It's an older book series, so it is a little misogynistic, just warning ahead of time. But it's called Sector General, and it's about a space hospital that like has to treat all these different aliens, and so it's like how they have to do it all, but the aliens in that are like actually alien, Like, some are just kind of like big tardigrades, but then there's like crystalline beings that can only exist in like hyper, like intensely frozen area, or, you know, zones, and like telepathic kind of jellyfish characters, like all these like actually different things. And I just really appreciated that the author like put some effort into that, and that effort wasn't in Star Wars, is what I'm saying. What is school but just a collection of tangents? Is this what I have? Are you now equating my streams to school? Are you saying I'm putting you through school by randomly tangenting? And I, at the same time, don't know if I should apologize for this. Modern Star Wars monsters are especially egregious, no imagination. Yeah, there's like, look at this fox! It's got ice crystals on it. And I'm just like, come on. Like, you had this whole thing of like, here's this frozen planet. You could invent anything that was literally evolved in the ice. And instead of making something that makes sense in a frozen platform, you make instead a mammal that only has to live in a frozen tundra some parts of the year. It's like, there's a reason why a fox is the way it is, because it spends half the year not having to be in a frozen tundra. You're saying I'm always having tangents in your drawings, but yes, this is very educational. Okay. Just remember, you threatened people that they weren't allowed to tell me to mute, so you wanted this. You wanted the school session of Audrey tangents. Alright, I'm making these. This is getting a little detailed here that I don't know if it's really reading on stream. I'm just kind of doing like soft. It's kind of like, this is a weird thing to say, one of my favorite parts on like a Sumatran rhino to look at is where their big armor plating meets like the softer joint areas, and to see how that transitions right there. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, that would be rude, and also we get no more tangents. I just have tangents about lazy... Seriously, who just put a woolly rhino in frickin' Mandalorian? It's just a woolly rhino. Now the question is, I noticed something that I avoided doing because I wasn't sure where to put it. Where is his ears? I don't want... He's probably gonna have very poor hearing. That's just a given. But I should still have some kind of ears. Even turtles got ears. They're just little, largely useless holes. Which, this one probably makes sense that they would also be holes. Just because the reason why animals have the cup shapes, as you can see on my dog back there, or on my little animated GIF, the reason why we have those shapes is to, you know, force a directionality of the sound we're hearing to figure out what sound is coming from where. So for the creature like this that pops its head in and out of a shell, it doesn't make a terrible amount of sense that it would have cupped ears. Just because once they're out here, like, unless its ears were to come way the frick out, like... Actually, I'm just gonna use the tracing paper to do what it's meant for. If I were to... You know, I didn't even think about this. This is what tracing paper is meant for. Why not I... ¿Por qué no los dos? Again. So unless I were to do something like this where I pull the ear way out here, like comically long, comes out kind of thing. You have to go sleep? Yes, you do! My god. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the raid earlier. You have a good night. Good luck on the other side of the world. I hope shit's less crazy for you there. Tangent. Rain. Focus. Okay. So I could have the ears pop out like this. Or... But I feel like that's just silly looking at that point. We just got like a big... Because it would have to like cover up all the face details. And that's just silly looking. So I think I'm gonna... Plus it's not terribly... Like if you think about it, then there's this big flap of skin that can get sandwiched in between. I just drew over top of that. That can get sandwiched in between this like shells when they get hit. And it's another like heat loss thing or thing that you gotta worry about getting stuff inside of it. So I'm leaning more and more towards a drum. Less crazy, nope. No, I'm sorry. If the world could stop with whatever the frick is happening, I'd appreciate it. Please? Just kind of write this crazy train anytime now. For all our sakes. Alright, we're gonna give him maybe not necessarily a drum like a frog or toad, but more like little bear ears. They just pop out here. They're just little ears. They'll probably fold down and they aren't terribly useful outside of this. Of course, there's going to be some fur in it, because he is a little bit of a hairy bastard. It would be kind of funny, actually, to do, like a sexual dimorphism on this. Which is just fancy way of saying the males and the females look significantly different. If I were to make like this the female, and then I have it be like the males are just absolutely insane looking. So actually, do I have it in here? Hold on. Need to go feed the cats, but my cat is on my lap. I'm stuck. You just have to teleport. Learn how to teleport now. I want to see if I have it in here. There was another creature that was kind of similar to this design, but I might try to do something. If I were to make like the male and the female version, I might try to copy that. Not necessarily copy, but kind of. See, this sketchbook is full of a lot of half-started sketches, because I think sometimes I just have random sketchbooks where it's like they just don't get off to the greatest start, I feel like, and then I kind of tend to ignore them because I'm like, oh, there's too many undones or not dones in there, and it gets to my avoidiness. But yeah, I don't think it's in this sketchbook. All right, I had one that I did a big shell and a big like flipper thingy on at some point. That might be. Is this? No, these are new. But maybe it's in this sketchbook. If I start looking for that, it'll be 3 hours later in stream, because I have that many sketchbooks in like a 5 minute foot radius from me. Oh, she's being super cute right now. Glare. I look back there, just glare. Alright. Keep this tracing paper on me. Now I'm gonna kind of try to simplify these forms, or not simplify, but I kind of have a tendency to draw things and how they go best with the shape language for like keeping the rhythm of the movement going on, but then like once I have it in there, for the most part, I can go through and kind of erase some parts of that and still have it follow that movement. just as long as the most of the motion of the limb is following it, I'll still get that kind of eye line guiding. That's why you'll see me do like a little bit of a nip and a tuck here and there, to use messed up plastic surgery terms. And we've got like 20 minutes left of stream. Bagheera, please. I do love that name. That's honestly, if I had a black cat, that's probably what I would name it too. Like, Raya became Raya because, oh, speaking of Star Wars, the Shelter called her Rey, as in, the Daisy's character in the new Star Wars, and I was like, I don't like Star Wars, so it's like, how can I change that to not be too confusing, so we went with Raya. Is not necessarily meant to. People are gonna be like, oh no, it's fan art of that Disney princess, and it's like, eh. Yours is named after a terrifying and majestic monster hunter unicorn or a Japanese word for giraffe. Take your pick. Okay. I mean, it wasn't just the monster hunter. There is the Kirin in mythology, though. In mythology, I guess it kind of depends on where you're going from. It kind of... The Kirin is like two separate animals that when they mate become the one. So it could be, is he a little schizophrenic? Because then it might be that one. Is there potentially two personalities in one? I think, there's the Keelan, and then there's the, I think Keelan's the Chinese mythology, and then I think the Kirin is the Japanese, I think. So I believe the Chinese one is the one where it's two animals fused together. I do have books that I could go look this up, but that is, once again, a tangent that would definitely absorb all the remaining time of stream. I'm making a little bit kind of extra skin here. I might need to expand this joint right here a little bit, just to kind of show carrying that weight. The reason I'm adding this kind of like extra thick skin of pork belly here is that I'm imagining that in a fight with they're crashing into each other, that a lot of the motion that would happen would be like they'd slip down and hit this leg. So there'd be some of that would be intentional, like they're trying to knock the leg out from underneath their rival, but we would need some kind of shock absorption here as well. That's why I'm putting a little bit of a thick lining here. I was starting to draw that. Like I said, I think I'm gonna draw the pack, the like domestication part of it separately, and then add that post. Just because it will be way easier to draw that digitally and add it on than it would be for me to draw it now and then have to digitally add in. Like I'm pretty much like, if I were to make this, I'm thinking of it as if it were a project that I had to hand into like a 3D modeler or something, where they would need to have it both with and without tack. So I need to show both versions. This was just a one-off illustration, it would not matter, but since this is me working in my concept artist, creature designer brain, I'm like, I must have both. The 3D modelers know what to do. Alright, I don't want it to quite... I'm like starting to make a big dish here, and I don't want it to quite be a dish. I just need it to definitely be coming to a point here. Alright, I'm going to mute for a little bit because I need to eat something real quick because my meds are fucking with me. She does not understand why I did not give her part of my peanut butter bar. And now she's left me out. Yep, she's mad at me. It's understandable. She gets a lot of peanut butter treats, and then I'm sitting here eating a peanut butter bar. So her brain's like, that smells like stuff I can have. What the frick? It has chocolate. It has, hold on. I need to I need to pimp this brand a little bit. Like, I highly doubt they ever do any kind of advertise or sponsorships, but man, if I could get a sponsor and it could be this place. It's Nellie's Organics. So this is their dark chocolate peanut butter with quinoa. And I think they sell them at like Whole Foods. I just I tried them once and I was like, holy crap, these are good. And but I don't like giving Bezos any more money, so now I order from them directly. And they're not terribly cheap, so I only have like max one a day. They're kind of like a special treat thing, but I keep them kind of on hand when I'm streaming because my meds make me go hypoglycemic, and those things like knock that shit out immediately. But yes, they're all, it's very tasty and not like full of a bunch of random gross stuff. So if you want, like, if you're like a Reese's peanut butter cup fan but you wish it tasted more like chocolate and peanut butter, get those. They also make other flavors too, which I have not tried yet, but I did get, this last time I ordered them, I did order a variety pack. So I want to try some of their other ones. Also, I'll give them great kudos for being the only brand in a very long time that I have ordered from that has not gone on to immediately harass me with emails every single day since. Like, you just place your order, they tell you when it ships, they tell you when it's delivered, and then they're good. And that's it. It's so beautiful. And it's just, it's some like little family company that like makes it, it's like one of those things that's like free of a lot of the allergens and stuff, which I have to be very careful for because I have celiac, so I have to, the gluten will get to me way more than I used to think it would. Like, I thought I was fairly safe, and then I kept on having my skin breaking out into like really bad like kind of rashes, but not quite rashes, like almost blisters, like tiny blisters all over. And it turns out that was from gluten, and I wasn't eating, or no, I was eating Cheerios, which was cause it. Like, they're gluten-free Cheerios, but it was so cross-contaminated it was causing that. And then I actually had it happen again recently, but not as bad, but like that's what this red mark is on my hand. There's a flare-up of it again. And it was because my fish food for my new betta fish has wheat in it, and I was like picking it up by hand to feed it to him, so now I have to feed him with a spoon and not touch the food or I get blisters on my fingers. This is my fun reality. Gluten adjacent Cheerios. No, God. So here's the thing though. I have a crap ton of Cheerios in my house. So any of y'all local nerds, if you like Honey Nut Cheerios and you want some, I got a bunch. Because I can't eat them anymore, and Ernesto won't for some reason. I guess he just doesn't like Cheerios. So there's just boxes of Cheerios floating around. I thought Cheerios was safe because they're all like, proud sponsor of the Celiac Foundation. It's lies. It's lies. I do get them to the crows a lot. The whole open package I had went straight to the crows. But the crow, I have to get a better bird feeder because my one that I had out there, the rats clambered on so much they tore it down, and it's like I can't even put bird feed in there without it just falling apart immediately now. So I have to like pretty much get a new post and redo the bird feeder situation. As yes, the wonderful invasive rats again. Proud sponsor, make themselves more money by cutting corners. Yeah. You're sorry the cereal attacked me. It's just like we want to go to Japan, and we do have friends that live there, but then anytime mention going to like somebody that's ever lived there for any period of time, then say I can't have gluten, and at first they're like, oh, you know, you'll be fine, and then I mentioned that it's in soy sauce, and they're like, oh no. Yeah, no. It's one of those secret things that's like everywhere. And you think you're safe, but you're not. Yeah. I think the worst I had it was, I have to erase my random giraffe being eaten by a lion down here. The worst time I've had, like, that I've been glutened was, I think it was at a GDC, so in San Francisco, and we went to a nice sushi restaurant, and this is when Ernesto and I were like first started dating, and we went to a nice sushi restaurant with a bunch of his local friends, and I thought sushi was fine. I thought sushi safe. Sushi not safe. And this was a nice sushi restaurant, but they were apparently, I've now discovered that this is a thing, that a lot of places will wash their rice with flour, or they'll rinse it with flour so that the rice sticks together better. So that was what I ended up getting absolutely, because I was like, I didn't try the soy sauce at all because I knew better by then, but I just got completely doomed. All the rice cakes in the world, you can't hide from soy sauce. Oh yeah, no, they make gluten-free soy sauce. Yeah, like I have gluten-free soy sauce at home. I cook with it all the time. I've gotten to the point where, unless it's Thai food, I'm cooking it at home if it's Asian food. Or Indian is usually safe too. We do have like a Nepalese place nearby that is very Indian adjacent that's been safe. But yeah, there's been times where I've ordered like, God, there was a place that opened up nearby, and I was so excited. They had gluten-free pad see ew. And I was like, oh, I've seen gluten-free pad see ew. I'm gonna get that. I had took 2 mouthfuls of it, and all of a sudden we get a call, and they're like, it's not gluten-free. It's not gluten-free. It was a call from them like freaking out. And yeah, that was a fun week after that. And they like, I think they gave us a refund on that order and like a gift certificate to come back, and we just never went back after that. Trying to figure out where I want the hair details to be and where I want the heavier scoot. Not quite scoop, but just the kind of scaly texture. Why would you go back? Yeah. I was like, you kind of tried to kill me. I'm good. Which is a shame because it was good food, but yeah. Yeah, that's why it's like, we kind of have our tried and true takeout places. And it's like, you want to be adventurous and try new stuff. But when you have celiac like I do, that's a very risky thing. You have a friend that's violently allergic to pork. Interesting. I haven't heard of just pork, huh? Like, I've definitely heard of people that have gotten like the tick meat allergy, where you're essentially become allergic to hemoglobin. But pork? That's an interesting one. I had my neighbor growing up was allergic to grass. Ended up in the ER several times because a chef decided to use bacon grease for oil. Oh. Yeah, that's very common, especially in like high-end restaurants, so damn. She's gotta also be hyper vigilant. Like, it sucks also to go to a restaurant and be that pain in the ass person, but it's like, I have to, or you're going to doom me. There's been a lot of places that are just like, oh god, there was some place we went to last time we were in Mexico. We went there because it had a really good view of the light show at the cathedral across the street. And we found out that this restaurant, that was kind of all it had going for it, was that cathedral view. And they were charging outrageous sums for their food that was pretty mid, but they had a drink that I ordered, and then it came with like a cookie straw. And at first I was like, okay, this looks a little bit like one of those rice rolls that you can get. It's like a Filipino snack. It's like a rice wafer, sweet white rice wafer rolled around. And I like those. I've used them to make like a tiramisu, actually, based off of those. But they had, I thought maybe it was that, but then they're like, oh no, this is a cookie, and I was like, I can't have that. So then the guy just like pulled the cookie out of the drink and then handed it back to me, and I'm just like, this does not fix this drink. She ended up in the ER several times. Oh yeah, no, I already read that part. But damn. Also, well, yeah, I guess with an allergy, because it's like allergy, celiac, something where it's like, I'm fucked for the week. But it's not like I'm gonna get like, I'm not gonna get like my throat closing up like with an allergy, which is terrifying. Like, I get that with red food dye, but I don't think I'm that severe that I'd have to go to the ER unless someone's like making me chug like a big gulp of it, then yeah, probably. Trash Witch! How are you, Trash Witch? I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for subscribing. Also, isn't it ridiculously late at night for you? Cow Eepy. Yes, we're doing weird pack animal, domesticated pack animal that kind of turtles. I might draw another version where his head's out a little farther, but his neck does curl into this shell here. It is. Can I buy one? Can you buy this cow? Eh, maybe. Someday. In my tabletop RPG campaign setting. I'm gonna give me big, lumpy pack animal. How many camels does it sell for? It's significantly stronger than a camel, so I'm gonna say at least 3 or 4 camels. How about that? I'm very glad to see you. How have you been? How goes it in the land of dry heat and fire tornadoes? More than one, less than 100. Oh, tough bargain. I'm gonna say a good one is gonna cost you like 5 to 7 camels, and then like a regular one's gonna cost you 3 to 4 camels. I'll expect my camels in the morning. Alright, so this area is going to have some kind of chafing on it from, or rubbing from like just the fur. So this area would actually be probably either high polish, it's going to be smooth no matter what, but it might be like a little bit of a polished sheen, or it's oiled up and darker. And it could be either. Taking a regular one? I don't know what that necessarily means. Been doing good. Last week was pretty rough. Oh no. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that this week is going better for you. Which I know is kind of a tall ask these days. To just Is it personal stuff, or is it just life in general, or you just don't even want to get into it? Feel free to tell me to mind my own damn business. Also, I don't know if you've been lurking for a bit, or if you've just popped in, but there was a great many tangents that have been had today. Just calling it out there. I'm actually gonna... yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure I can blend with this. This is one of the reasons why I use animated pencils. They're like blendable without being insanely blendable, but there's still some nice blending there. Don't want to get into it. Valid. I feel ya. I've been having one of those months myself. Honestly, kind of one of the reasons why I keep ending up streaming is, well, I mean, I started a schedule. I'm trying to keep to the schedule because I want to keep to a schedule, but I have definitely needed these days of chat distracting me and getting me on animal tangents and kind of helping me have something else to fixate on that isn't the bad shit, you know. You just join the... oh, okay. Yeah, there was tangents about... well, I mean, I think chat listed it up before, or not that long ago, but like... Akitas and war crimes and domesticated chickens. We've had a fun day. Why giraffes are probably on their last of their evolutionary legs, you know, that things like that. Chickums. I believe because the question was like, how much can we interfere with the design of domesticated animals before like it becomes like the antithesis of helpful, or you know, they're pretty much start dying out. And I do I want to say postulate? I don't know if postulate's the right term for here, but I propose chickens. Specifically, that sounds like a Carson question. It was from a Carson Raider, but it was not Carson. But yes, Carson was very lovely and rated earlier. We did talk about lots of shenanigans. I went off on chickens. I did, okay? They kind of deserve to go. Humans need to face what we've done to chickens. He felt his presence. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's still here just lurking. Because I think sometimes he raids, tunes in for a little bit, and then he kind of leaves it on and heads out. But yes, no, chat has had me on many random tangents about biological dead ends and stuff like that today. I'm very much liking blending with this. It's like, it's a little blasting stuff out right now, but I'm kind of surprised that it could blend this well with the Q-tip. So I'm kind of tempted to do this and then do like I do on the Yupo paper, which is erase out a lot of the shading and everything. So get some kind of details in there with some erased out values. Also, I keep scooching this thing further and further out of the camera view. Just because the camera view is flipped, so I'm like, keep pulling it to the side that I want. Room temperature ketchup, thank you for the compliment. It was a very random idea I had the other night, and I'm glad I could pretty much draw what I thought, what I pictured in my head. It's always an achievement when I manage to actually draw what I pictured in my head. You have no idea how rare that is. Very frustrating. And thank you for the follow! Sorry that my sound notifications are apparently broken on most everything right now. My mic died, and I had to order a new mic, and then the Bluetooth died. Last week was a lot of technical difficulties, amongst other things. So I have not had a chance I just found out pretty much this stream that my notification sounds are borked, and I have to go fix that after this. Relatable. It's been a weird day, okay? Chat has got me off on many tangents, and I've been told that I am now school. I'm a great many things. I maybe have ADHD, or I'm maybe just weird, or maybe both. The new subscriber sound did play. Okay, so some of it's working, but not all of it. Interesting. Trashwitch sounds like a Dark Souls character. I could see Trashwitch as a Dark Souls character. If there's a Dark Souls character that, like, viscerates you verbally and then annihilates you physically, that would be Trashwitch. I say this with the greatest of love, Trashwitch. Alright, though I do have to wrap up stream, unfortunately, folks, because I have been going for 3 hours and I gotta walk my dog.
What the dog doing?
See, that one played. You actually just missed my dog room to catch up if you haven't been around for very long. She's been hanging out for most of the stream, but she did abandon me. So yeah, I guess just some of my audio's gotten messed up. I'll have to go through it all and fix it. Oh, goodness gracious. But yes, okay, so right now this is not going to be a volcano hole. I know it kind of looks like that, but no, it's going to be more like a Pachycephalosaurus, like a bony dome kind of thing. I've got to kind of make it, I'm making it kind of look like the rings of a tree that's been polished. Like I'll probably have to do some shading in here just to kind of make this not look like it's completely flat there, because I don't want that. You drawing a dog though, right? I mean, this is a weird dog. I don't know quite, this thing doesn't have a name yet. This is, I just had an idea for like a domesticated kind of like oxen type creature for I've been slowly working on a monster manual of my creature designs, and then I also have like a tabletop RPG campaign that's been feeding into that, but well, probably just because of pure time it takes to make the storyline not be coming out until after the monster manual. But so this is gonna migrate its way into those. You would call it a borrow? That is a good name. I like borrow. Alright, I will write down borrow. I'm trying to do a creature design too, but I always lean creepy and sickly skinny. This is a refreshing take on creature design. Yeah, I honestly tend to do that. You'll notice that, like if you ever kind of follow me on social media or watch the streams more often, that when I'm drawing on this paper, my toned paper, I tend to do more thick boys. And then when I'm drawing like on my Yupo paper, which is like it's kind of like this tracing paper, but more waxy and thicker, then I tend to get the ethereal creepy ones. Drop the socials. I was like, that's what the QR code in the corner is. But let me see here. I'll post I should probably just pin this at the top. But I never know what to pin because we have the Discord as well. That I started up a Discord because people wanted to suggest games and stuff. posted the link tree. I know some people are iffy about scanning QR codes. Very valid. It's just like, I know this one is mine because I made it. But you should not scan QR codes out in the wild unless you know exactly where it's coming from. Just a word to the wise. But I'm mostly on Blue Sky these days just because I absolutely loathe meta. I loathe it. I know I do need to set up a bot. I need to look that up. There's a lot of things I need to do. Yes, there is a Discord. I'll post the thing again. Hold on. Especially since I gotta wind down because I already said I got to stop. Bohannon, thanks for the follow. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Alright, there's the Discord again. It's, like I said, it is very new. I need to get through there and... because I, like, wrote the rules and stuff in the wrong section. It's in the rules section. I just put it in the about and not in the pinned. Anyways. Basic things. There's art share. There's... I'm hopefully gonna make it stream announcements. Pet pictures. You can share your art share. There's game suggestions for the Beastie Breakdown series, which is a series I do every week where I play a game on Friday and I go through like what I think influenced the creature design, and then I'll make a reference board of like everything I think that kind of went into the creature design for that. And then the next Monday usually I do a concept based like on that reference board that I think, you know, is something that's made for the game, but it's my own design. So this is Ooblets. This is what chat chose for this last week. This Friday is Ori and the Blind Forest. And then, like, this was the first one we did. This was Subnautica 2. So these usually end up being digital just because of the sake of, like, what, you know, as a concept piece. But, and then I always try to do, like, one stream a week where I usually do traditional art, which is what this one is. But, okay. Yes, I do need to check for bots. I do need to, let's see. Unfortunately, I gotta wrap it here because I do gotta go walk my dog. And she gets mad when I take too long. She was pissed at me Monday when I took too long. So I need to, let's see if there is. Casey Snow is live. We're gonna go raid Casey, okay? Because Casey's another animal nerd. So feel free to harass them with tangents too. Alright, let's try. But I very much appreciate you all hanging out with me. It's lovely to have you. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the week. I'll be back Friday, streaming Ori and the Blind Forest, making the reference board, talking about it. And next Monday, back to streaming art again. Alright? Thank you all. Have a good night. And I'm gonna send you over to Casey. Let's go. Be nice in Casey's chat. Her chat usually skews a little younger. So, don't talk about dog STDs. I know I told you about parasitic dog STDs, but let's avoid that topic. Please. Please. Bye, guys.